Well, hello, DCO Nation. Welcome to Deadcom Outdoors Radio. This is the show where the tide set the tone and the bite tells the story. We're diving into everything saltwater inshore kayak fishing, from lures and locations to weather, water, and winning tactics. If it helps you hook up on more fish, we're talking about it right here. So grab your paddle, check your drag, and here we go. Well, hello, DCO Nation, and welcome back to another episode of Deadcom Outdoors, right here on the Outdoor Radio Network. But before we get going, I want to connect with you guys. So head over to my social media accounts, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. I'm on Spotify, and it's all under Deadcom Outdoors. It's really that easy. Hit me up. I want to see your kayak rigs. I want to see what you guys are catching, what you're fishing with. So hit me up. Now, here's the important thing. If you guys want to be part of the show, I've got a segment called the mailbag. If you want to be part of the mailbag, go over to my Instagram account, leave me a message. I'll put your question in the mailbag and I will get to it on the next show. And we're just going to kind of filter through and answer your guys' questions as I get them. So that being done and set aside, I want to welcome one of the OGs on my YouTube channel that John Menchyk has been on. Gosh, John, how many times now? How many times have you been on?
4 or 5 now. 4 or 5. It's been a while. We've talked a good bit, man. We've had a lot of good conversations over the past
year. Absolutely. So John has a YouTube channel called Fishful Thinking Fishing. It's on YouTube. And he is also, a regional Salt Strong coach for, is it South Carolina to Northern Florida? Is that your region?
That's exactly right. Yeah, basically like the St. Augustine, Jacksonville area up to, Myrtle's Inlet, Myrtle Beach, and maybe a little north of that, where it's all like the marsh grass type fishing, like backcountry fishing. Yeah. What we consider low country.
And how long have you been doing that for Salt Strong?
So almost a year now. A year in October will be 1 year that I've been a coach, but I've been an insider member in the community for, maybe 6 or 7 years now, and basically learned a lot from Salt Strong and posted a lot, worked my way up, and got noticed, and they, for some reason, made me a coach.
Yeah, no, I know why they made you a coach, because every time we talk, I've got my little notepad sitting right here. Here's my pen, and I'm writing down tips that you throw out all the time. So, don't sell yourself short, man. I know why they got you. So
Thank you. Means a lot.
Yeah, no, it's all good. But hey, there's several topics I want to get to today, and one of them, here in the Southeast, this last month has been absolutely crazy with the weather. Back in July, mid-July, we had temperatures that was 114-degree heat index. I remember some of the actual temperatures hitting 100, 101, water temperatures ticking 90 degrees. Just brutal. To about, I'm going to say maybe about 3 weeks ago, somebody flipped the switch. The good Lord flipped the switch, and it feels like November. It has been lows like 70, 71, and highs maybe 85, and a ton of rain. So with you out there fishing, what have you seen with that weather flip being nice and cool? What kind of patterns have you seen?
None. There's no patterns to be seen right now for me, honestly. It seems like I'm confused and so are the fish. But I can catch them, I'm catching them pretty good here and there. Now, right before this cold spell came across, we went out to the jetties and just tore up some sheep's head out in Charleston jetties, and it was hot. It was 108 degrees heat index, something like that. By like 10:30 a.m. I was ready to go. And then literally like a week and a half later, like the whole southeast just turned upside down, and rain on top of rain on top of rain on top of rain. And it was good at first because we were all like really needing rain around here, because I felt like we hadn't got rain in months, and then we got so much rain. And the fish are doing what the fish do, when it comes to tides and all that kind of stuff. But it definitely has thrown off the fish a little bit. It's cooled off the surface temperature of the water. But all in all, I mean, it's not going to completely throw the fish like off their rhythm, because the time of year it is, like big bull redfish are coming up into the harbors and spawning, and a cold rain's not going to stop them from that. That's just the time of the year thing. And so, like, while it could throw them off a little bit as far as maybe like top water action, it could be better one day and not the next because of this, front that came in. But all in all, I don't think it really, messed them up too bad. I'm still kind of finding them at my spots, but they're just not like munching as they should be, if that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah. So really, you're not, I'm going to say, really changing your tactics or your patterns as much, since that this cool, can't really call it a cool front that's come through, but all of these cooler temperatures and rain, you haven't really changed a whole lot then.
No, I mean, the fish are still going to be doing what the fish do. I mean, it's not that drastic of a change. It's not like a 90-degree water temperature to a 70-degree water temperature. It's nothing drastic. It's nothing that's going to like shock them. Nothing really that's going to, affect the way that they have to feed. Besides just maybe the amount of water that's coming in, and on their tides you get heavy, and then like the amount of like junk in the water and stuff like that. That can really mess up the fisherman himself, but not the fish,
Right.
So that's the challenge. The challenge is not the fish. The challenge is actually just getting to the fish with everything, Mother Nature's throwing at us.
Okay. Okay. So you were saying that, the patterns really haven't changed. And I'm kind of seeing that also. The last time I was out, still that low and slow technique is still catching fish.
Correct.
And the top water bite in the morning is still really good. Are you throwing top water in the morning?
Always. There's no doubt that I'm throwing top water. That is my go-to. And if anybody watching, listening, knows me, knows anything about Salt Strong Insider Club, reads anything that I write in there, they know that I love top water lures. And I have to get out early, especially in the summertime. And the first thing I'm picking up is the top water. And I'm going to throw it until I know that they're just not going to hit it anymore.
And what's that time, when you say, they're not going to hit it anymore? Is there a certain time period that you are going to be like, okay, I'm putting this away?
So I guess that could go a few different ways. I mean, sometimes if it's cooler and overcast in the mornings, that top water bite will last a little bit longer into the morning, 8 or 9 a.m., But if it's sunny and sun comes up and then it gets hot real fast, the top water bite can end quick as soon as the sun comes up. There's a few things to look for. One, you're just not getting any more bites. You make let's say you make 100 casts that morning. You find a few bites here and there, and then you're not getting any more bites for a while. So then it's just time to switch. When you just don't feel confident anymore, that's when it's just time to switch. Or if you're in a good school of fish or you find a good spot and you're throwing a lot of top water, you can tell when the fish kind of quit striking at it so hard at the top, right? So it's like they'll come, like, trout will bust that thing out of the water, man. They'll hit it, it'll go straight up. Yes, but then you'll see them kind of like when they're starting to not want to feed up top no more, but they just can't resist it really. They'll come up and kind of just, you'll see a swirl behind it, but then that'll be it. Like they won't even try to like eat it really, But then after that, you can just throw the subsurface like a Mirrodine lure or something like that, and you'll get them right away.
Yeah, it's kind of funny that you said, the trout will bust that thing and blow that top water and throw it out of the water. A couple of weeks ago when I was out, it was right around the new moon. So this was probably maybe about 3 weeks ago. The top water bite was on with trout, and it was on a Sunday morning. And I went out and I was working a mirror lure, the top pup, and just kind of working it right along some oyster bars. And I think I missed as many as I caught that day. They were just
Yep.
all over it. And there was a couple of times where they would hit this thing, blow it completely out of the water. And I'm thinking to myself, I've got treble hooks all over this. How are they missing it?
I know. It's a mystery, right?
Yeah, it really is. Now, the one thing that I do, and I don't know if you do it or not, but if I'm missing a lot on top, I'll go back with some kind of a subsurface, like a paddle tail or a shrimp, almost like right after that top water. Do you do that or?
Yeah, so that's exactly what I was saying. Is when that top water bite kind of disappears and it goes away, I'll throw like a twitch lure. Like for Salt Strong, we have what's called a skinny lipper, and we have a few different other hard lures that I like to throw. But what like a Miradan lure is what a lot of people are familiar with, and so like just the twitch suspending twitch bait. That's what I would go to next, just because I'm a big jerk baits guy. I like the reaction strikes, and so I would go subsurface with like some suspending twitch lure, Miradan, anything like that. That's what I was saying. As soon as that top water bite's done, go right under subsurface, and if those fish are there, they'll bite. They'll be there.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, guys, that's an awesome tip for any place you guys are fishing. You know, if they're missing that top water, throw something different, give them a different look and see if they are going to strike something else. Now, will you, instead of having a suspending, will you go to the bottom or will you work your way down like the top and then work the suspending and then go to the jig, or does it really matter?
I think it matters depending on what kind of fishing you're doing. So if you're fishing more of like a flat, let's say, and you got about 2 foot of water, I would rather go to the twitch bait, just because it's not, you're not having to be right on the bottom. And most of the time those fish are on the bottom, especially speckled trout. Their anatomy, they're designed to feed upwards. And so when you got that twitch lure above them and you're in real shallow water, it's just natural for them to go up and feed, in that kind of circumstances. Now, if I'm fishing like a marsh bin in like a creek or something like that, when you're looking like 6-8 feet, something like that, I'll probably not go to like a suspending twitch lure. I'll probably put like a prawn or, whatever shrimp lure that you guys like to throw, gulp shrimp, anything. And that's when I'll go to the bottom. Depends on the depth and the kind of structure that I'm working. But for the most part, it's flats in the morning. I love working the flats, and if I can get find fish in about 2-3 foot of water, 4 feet of water, and work a twitch lure in the morning, it's super fun.
Yeah.
But I'll go to the bottom. I love working a prawn, bouncing it off the bottom, especially around structure, docks, bends and creeks, anything like that. Yeah, it just depends on what kind of area I'm fishing, and it kind of just depends on from there.
Great. Well, John, we're coming up to our first break. Guys, stick around. You are listening to Dead Calm Outdoors right here on the Outdoor Radio Network. Well, welcome back, DCO Nation. Welcome back to Dead Calm Outdoors right here on the Outdoor Radio Network. And we are talking with John Menchyk from Fishful Thinking Fishing and a regional Salt Strong coach. And that first segment was awesome. We talked, topwater fishing, the crazy weather we've been having here in the Southeast, especially right here in South Carolina, which has just been, just weird, man. It's kept me off the water a couple of days because of so much rain that we have had. So, but this second segment, I want to talk a little bit about the kind of questions or the most frequently asked questions you get as a Salt Strong coach. So is there one that is like, okay, I get this week in and week out? What's I'm going to say the number one question you get asked?
Well, that's a really good question because I get all kinds of questions, and I would say most of them are like legit questions, but I would say the biggest question I get is how to switch, like what makes you confident in going from live bait to artificials? That is like the biggest question that I get with a lot of people, because a lot of people can go out and catch fish with live bait. You just kind of throw it and soak it and wait, or however you want to do it. But Live bait's obviously most of the time king of the water. But me and you, we throw a lot of artificial lures. And the biggest thing is a lot of people don't have confidence in artificial lures. And so the biggest question I get is the jump from live bait to artificial. And how do you manage that jump, I guess, would be the biggest question.
Okay. Now, you know where I'm going to go with this, right?
How do you manage that?
How do you manage that? You got it, man. You're sitting here looking at my face, and it's like, you know where I'm going with it.
I was gonna just keep rolling on with that, but I didn't want to talk too much. And then
no, I'm not letting you off that easy. I'm not letting you off that
so
easy.
The way I like to say it is, it's not like it takes time, but it's gonna take patience. And you got to find your trustworthy go-to lure, which mine is the prawn made by Salt Strong. I will throw it day in and day out, all day long. Does not matter. That is my trusty lure. That's the one I feel good throwing. And whenever you go to artificial lures, that's what you got to find. You got to find that one that you just really like and get good at just that one. Don't try all these different swim baits and everything. Don't have your boat full of tackle, because most tackle is just lured in to catch the fishermen, not the fish. And so you wouldn't believe, I go fishing with a ton of people and they have just all this tackle spread out, all these lures that they've had for years and not even open. And it's like, because they don't know how to use it, they don't know how to work it or anything, they just buy it, And like the biggest thing with artificials is it looks good and you see it and everything about it looks good, price might be good, but then you go out and throw it and you don't catch nothing, And so you got to find that one artificial lure that you're just really confident in. And when you go out and you can master that lure, and that's when you can start changing and start trying different things. But just get good at one thing and then kind of spread your wings from there.
Yeah, I think you probably looked into my kayak, because I was one of those guys. And with being a kayak fisherman, everybody always says, well, you're a minimalist. You hardly take anything. Well, let me tell you, when I first got in, yeah, you're already shaking your head. I know. When
I'll
I
pack as much as I can in that kayak.
Yeah, I loaded my kayak down when I first got into it. I had these big bait boxes with all kinds of plastics and hard baits and tackle. And really, I'm kind of proud of myself. Here in probably the last year, I have gone to that minimalist attitude where I've got a terminal tackle box that's got, all of my hooks in it. And then right below my seat, I've got one hatch that I keep about 8 different soft plastics in, some paddle tails, some shrimps, and some jerk shads.
Yep.
And just in some different colors, maybe a light natural color, a dark color, maybe an in-between weird pink, just kind of, but that's all I'm carrying now. And you're exactly right. That's all you need. If you can become proficient in just a handful of baits or 2 or 3 baits, you are going to be so much better and so much more consistent.
And you won't even be worried about the other baits that you see in store, because you'll have those 3 in your arsenal, and that's all you're going to need to go catch a slam, to go get your redfish, your trout, you can catch bluefish, you can catch anything, And that's the thing, is you won't even worry about the baits that you see in store anymore, because you know what you got, and that's what you're going to use, and that's good confidence lures. When you go out fishing with lures and you're confident, that changes the game for you when it comes to fishing.
Yeah. So what's your confidence lure? If you know, hey, listen, I've got to get a fish. I'm recording. I'm doing my episode this week, and I need to get a fish on the camera. What's your go-to? What's your confidence bait?
So it's the prawn. I wish I had one around me here. It's the prawn made by Salt Strong. It's a shrimp lure, and to me, it's the best on the market. You have a lot of good ones, and I'm not just saying this because I am a Salt Strong guy. I'm a Salt Strong coach. I am saying this because it just flat out works. And the thing about us at Salt Strong is we don't push anything that doesn't work. We're not one of those that, will go out and push this different company or this and that just because they tell us to or something like that. We want to show you guys what works, and that's why Salt Strong is the way it is, and that's why it's grown so big. But the prawn, man, I love it. I can't stop throwing it, whether it be on like an 1/8 ounce like weedless jig head. Really, I throw it on a twist lock jig head. I throw it 1/8 or 1/4 ounce, but I really try to get away with an 1/8 if I can. And if the prawn's not working, then again, another salt strong lure is the Slam Shady 2.0. It's just, a little 3.5-inch paddle tail, and it works great. It's ribbed. It looks great in the water. It's got great action, especially if you got a loop knot tied onto that thing where it gives it just that little bit of wobble coming through the water. If I can't get them on the prawn, I'll switch over to that, and that'll work.
Yeah. I'm the same way. I love the shrimp patterns. I have thrown the prawn before. I've thrown voodoo shrimp. I love the prawn star from
Voodoo's great, man.
Z-Man.
I like voodoo shrimp, and that's not get me wrong. Like voodoo shrimp's very good. It works. It catches fish. I used to fish with the voodoo shrimp all the time, and I still have 7 or 8 of them in my tackle box now. Voodoo shrimp. I hadn't tried the prawn stars yet, but I see it's a pretty good lure. Everybody's catching them on that, so the prawn stars is probably a good lure. I can't say yes or no because I've never used it, but a bunch of shrimp lures are very good. But this one is just the natural, the fall, and the tail kind of wobbles as it goes down. It's just different.
Yeah. Now, here is something. I just had a Captain Jonathan Moss from the Captain's Log. He interviewed me last week, and I'm going to give you his tip that I am going to actually try this weekend. So he takes a DOA shrimp, bites off or cuts off the back end tail piece of that shrimp, and rigs a jig head backwards in that shrimp. And so when he throws it out, it looks like a fleeing shrimp away. And I was like, dude, that's gold. I'm using that, and I'm telling everybody. And he said, So
and how simple that sounds, but yet, like, most people won't even think of something like that. Including myself. I've never thought of that, but I mean, now I have to try it. Now it's just I got to go out there and try it.
Yeah, and I've got some old ones that I'm going to say a quote retired. So yeah, man, I'm going to remove that J hook that it comes on, and I'm going to re-rig this thing and get a second life out of some of those DOA shrimp. So
it probably works just fine. I don't see why that would not work in a million years. That would work every single day.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm right there with you. And then again, right along your same thought line is my second go-to is I like the 3-inch minnows from Z-Man. Again, that smaller pattern. When I'm getting up into the creeks and it's getting real skinny, I seem to kind of gravitate to a smaller profile because I believe the bigger bait, the big mullet, is leaving with the tide. The redfish are staying back, eating shrimp and, some smaller little bait fish that's staying in those little potholes. So that's my confident stuff.
Yeah, and you're spot on with that. I mean, that's why you can catch them, because you just know what they're going to do. And throwing those smaller lures, I'm a smaller lure type guy too. I like throwing lighter line, smaller lures, as light as I can get away with. That's just the type of fishing I like to do. Most fish can't resist tiny baits. It's an easy bait for them. It's just an easy meal that they think that they're getting. Because big fish, big mullet, they can just flee faster. They're better at getting away. The smaller ones just aren't. So if they can get a free, easy meal that's quick and just right in front of their face, then it's a no-brainer for them to eat it. And that's why I throw small lures all the time.
Yeah. So, okay, John, we got about 2 minutes left in our final segment here. So it is the back end of August. What is your tactic that you're going out with? You got about a minute and a half. Lay it on us. We're going out. What should we be doing?
So right now is a good time between now and October to go catch some big redfish in the harbors and in the deep channels and everything like that. Big redfish are coming in to spawn right now at the end of August. That spawn will be over in September, October. They'll be sticking around to feed on all the big mullet and everything that's going to be coming through. So my suggestion is go find some deep river channels with some structure. See, us in Charleston, we like to fish Charleston Harbor over there, the Ravenel Bridge or the 526 Bridge. You can find big fish, big black drum, big redfish all around there this time of year. And so that is the most fun you'll have in August through October. This time of year is going out and catching those big redfish. They fight hard, they're aggressive, and they're hungry and they're ready to eat. And so go out there, go catch them up, and enjoy yourself, have some fun.
Yeah, those big redfish, they are spawning right now. So, take it easy on them. Make sure that you get them to the boat quickly. Make
Yep.
sure that you're reviving them, keep them in the water and make sure that they kick off so that they can continue to spawn, do
Yep.
their thing, lay their eggs so that they keep these fisheries stocked up. That is the best way to do it. So,
Yeah, and if you can, if you can avoid them, if you want to go something else, another tip I could give you is what I would do is I go fishing. I go fishing the marsh creeks. So I'm going to go find flats. I'm going to go find a big grass flat, and on these high tides, these redfish are all in these grass flats, eating on the shrimp and the fiddler crabs and everything that's in there. And so, if you want to lay off the redfish, you want to go catch the redfish spawning in the grass. Listen to me, eating in the grass. You go do that. But the good thing about it is the spawn's over here in about 2 weeks, and so once this spawn's over, go get on them. It's a lot of fun, especially off the surf. And if you don't got a boat, go to the beach, take some blue crabs, take whatever you need, go have some fun.
Yep. John, really appreciate you. Thanks so much. Guys, check him out. Fishful Thinking Fishing on YouTube. He's a salt strong instructor. He is knowledgeable. He is absolutely fantastic. John, I really do appreciate you. And remember, guys, conservation starts with you. Release a fish for someone else to enjoy. And you've been listening to Dead Calm Outdoors right here on the Outdoor Radio Network.